Uh, Video games, innit?
Hello,
Oh,
and
hello.
welcome to this bonus episode of I Hate Your Movie.
Yes.
This is a movie podcast in which we inflict movies upon each other, but we haven't done that this week because we were lazy.
Yeah. We want to delay Halloween to buy Rob Zombie as much as possible.
The original idea for this is when the Mario Brothers film came out, we were going to watch the animated Mario Brothers film, and we were going to watch the 1993 Super Mario Brothers film,
Yeah.
the classic.
Did look up, it's the first video game movie ever.
Is it really?
Yeah.
And for a while it was the last.
Yeah. It is still the last. That's what we're going to watch in the apocalypse on VHS.
Well, that's what the apocalypse looks like.
Yeah, and we're going to watch that too. That's going to be our entertainment.
So we didn't do that.
Yeah.
Because again, we were lazy. But I have come to the conclusion, I think the next big thing, because comic book movies were a massive thing, $1 billion each film and that kind of thing, and that's dying off now. And I think the next big thing incoming will be video game adaptations.
I disagree.
Yeah?
I think it's brand movies, starting off with Barbie, and then it's gonna be Micro Machines, Hot Wheels, Play-Doh, Potato Head.
Potato Head's already in Toy Story.
Yeah, well, he can get his own spin-off.
The thing with brands, it has to be something from like people's childhood that they grew up with, and that's toys. And there's a limited amount because you've already done like G.I. Joe, you've already done Barbie, you've already done...
They're redoing G.I. Joe again.
Yeah, only time will tell. We'll meet back up in 2 years.
And we're watching the Simon Says movie.
Simon Says, the Bop It movie.
The Bop It movie.
Or we'll be watching the Call of Duty movie.
That's just Saving Private Ryan, pretty much. No?
I don't think so. I think that's Saving Private Ryan's too intelligent for the Call of Duty.
Okay.
Actually, I was reading reviews for Extraction 2,
Okay.
and that was one of the reviews. It's like, this is dumb as shit. It's like the Call of Duty.
Okay. Maybe
movie.
I'm an old school gamer, so maybe I'm thinking of the old Call of Duties where it was in World War II.
Mm-hmm.
Should we say where we are in gaming? Because I'm not super comfortable calling myself a gamer.
No, you shouldn't be.
I used to play a lot. I like me fighting games. I like my Mortal Kombats.
Yep.
I used to really love Fallout and Oblivion and Skyrim and that kind of stuff. The only games I play recently though is very indie kind of brainless games, because my problem with like nowadays mainstream gaming is that I really want to play this game. And then you get into it and you have to watch an hour and a half of cutscene. And then even after that, you just like press X to continue the story. I hate those games. And it's pretty much all AAA games now. Pretty much.
Disagree.
No?
I think the intro is like that. I think the further you get into the game, the less it's like that.
I'm thinking about games like Last of Us.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like that.
You got to creep around environments
Yeah, but
and
it's
shoot
like
them.
all so simplistic, and the game kind of autoplays some section for you. Extra handholdy bullshit. So I only play games where I just pick up and play now. I love Binding of Isaac,
Never heard of it.
Rebirth. It's a twin-stick roguelike shooter. This is what they should make a movie out of, right?
Right.
You are a little boy. His mother wanted to kill him because God said so. This little boy, Isaac, like in the biblical story, hides in the basement. In the basement there's all sorts of monsters and creepy crawlers. And you shoot by crying on people.
Right.
Or crying on enemies. And then you pick up all sorts of items. But the interesting thing is all randomized. And it all works together. So there's like, I don't know, 250 items. And they all have unique weird interactions.
Okay.
Like there's one that instead of crying tears, you cry blood. There's one where instead of one little tear, you do like 1,000 tiny tears.
Right.
And then it makes it 1,000 bloody tears and things like that. And it all kind of like infinitely replayable to see like all the different interactions. The ending of the game, you enter your mother's uterus.
Oh my god.
And and then fight her. There's a lot of like, you have to...
You fight her from the inside.
Yeah, you have to kill your mother like 10 times to get to the real ending, which is you go to heaven or hell.
Right.
And then there's mega hell and mega heaven as well, or whatever it's called. What is your gaming experience right now?
I flick between two of the like extremes of like, I play Call of Duty, so you pick up, play it, play a few matches, put it down. You progress only in like, oh, you've unlocked this gun and you've unlocked that gun and this one's better than that one slightly. And survival games. Like I'm really into a game called Ark at the minute, that the game's always running and the time's always lapsing in the game. So like right now things are happening in it that I can't see or do, but they're happening. You raise animals and try and survive against you get hungry, you get cold, you get drowning, and there's loads of dinosaurs everywhere.
Drowning?
You drown.
You feel drowning.
Yeah, I have played games all my life. Everything kind of picked up at where the Master System was, if anyone remembers that. Playing old school Sonic games through to like N64, PS1, 2, 3. I had a Dreamcast. For those who
you were the only one.
Yeah, I was the one that had the Dreamcast, which was the better one. It had a little Tamagotchi thing on it. It was amazing.
It has a lot of cult following now.
It's awesome. Yeah. It was awesome, and it should have done better.
I always belonged to the PC Master Race.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was like Mortal Kombating on the PC all the time.
That's a terrible example for a PC game.
I know, but that's what I had. What do you want me to do? That's what my mother's old PC played. I had like, because we had no money, so for example we had like FIFA 97 or 98 or something.
Yeah.
The one that starts with I got no down.
I remember that.
I only remember. I just put in sometimes just to listen to that song.
I'll tell you now.
Yeah.
If you're ever struggling for like new music to listen to, download a FIFA soundtrack. They're amazing. Genuinely every single one is full of absolute hits, and from genres you would not even normally like. I remember there's a fairly recently in the last 5 years had a Linkin Park song.
Okay.
Yeah, and it got pretty screamy.
Wow.
It's one of the ones that gets pretty screamy.
Yeah, just because we had no money, I had all these shitty games and whatever I could get, and I hate football. I despise it. So I didn't even like the game. I didn't want to play it. So what I did, I just set the computer against itself and I just watched it. But even that was boring. But sometimes when I was bored, I did not.
Nice. What would you say your favorite game of all time is?
Fuck me. Do you have one so I can think about it?
I do.
Yeah.
It's BioShock.
Oh yeah.
BioShock is the best game. My second favorite game of all time, and I'm really excited because they're remastering it.
Yeah.
It's Max Payne.
I love Max Payne.
Max Payne was amazing.
Max Payne 2 as well. And I really love Max Payne 3. That was like one of the last games I genuinely played with like paying attention and stuff. And I remember everyone hating that game at the time, and I thought it was
I didn't enjoy it.
I thought it was amazing. I thought it was really good. It was like the challenge was really up there, and it was really hard, enjoyable kind of challenge. You know what? It's probably Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah. Fallout New Vegas gets so much hate.
Why?
I don't know. People don't like it. Generally, it's better than
all of the new Fallouts.
It's probably my favorite.
Yeah, it's the intellectual one for nerds like me.
Is it intellectual?
It gets pretty out there, yeah.
The only thing I remember about Fallout New Vegas is if you put your points into luck at the start of the game, when you get to the casino, you then have infinite money.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I remember you can put your intelligence to 1, and then all the dialogue is just like...
Is it really?
Yeah. And like people have responses for it and shit. It's really funny. That's a very detailed and very amazing game, and it's got lots of cool politics and shit.
Yeah.
I like to replay that. It's ugly as fuck. This is why I think I'm struggling with calling it my favorite game. It's just so hard to look at it. It's just so ugly.
That's true of all Fallout games though, surely.
I think that one specifically.
I've thought about this quite a lot over the years. I think the game I have played the most of all of the games in the world is Minesweeper.
Okay. Oh my God.
Because it keeps coming back. Like I've played Skyrim. I've done 3 playthroughs or 4 playthroughs, each about 300 hours.
And as you're playing Skyrim, I was like, oh shit, I wish I was playing Minesweeper right now.
But like Minesweeper since I was like little, and I've always played Minesweeper, and I've still got it on my phone to this day.
I was a solitaire kind of guy.
Nah.
I love solitaire.
I like Free Cell. Free Cell would probably come in second. It was the third card game on Windows 96 or whatever it is. I've recently got back into it.
Hardcore gamers, Solitaire and Minesweeper.
In 1993, when the Super Mario Brothers film came out, it was just ridiculed to death.
Was it at the time?
I think so, yeah. I remember it being like the standard for shit.
Mm-hmm.
I think there are two films that completely killed the potential at the time for video game movies. That and Street Fighter with Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah. There's a really funny scene here that I'm just going to edit it right now.
We can all go home. Meanwhile, ideals like peace, freedom, and justice, they get packed up. But we can all go home. Well, I'm not going home. I'm gonna get on my boat, and I'm going upriver, and I'm going to kick that son of a bitch Bison's ass so hard that the next Bison wannabe is gonna feel it.
He tries to make an inspirational speech, and he can barely speak English. It's really funny.
I think there was someone else famous in that as well.
Kylie Minogue?
Kylie Minogue, yeah.
Yeah.
That's how you know you've got a successful film on your hands.
Yeah. I've got a fun fact about that movie.
Yeah?
You know, there's video games based on movies, and then there's movies based on video games.
Yep.
But have you ever heard of a video game based on a movie based on a video game?
No.
That is Street Fighter, the movie, the game. One of the only ones. It's recently been toppled by Rampage, the movie, the game.
Yep.
A copy of a copy of a copy. It's like awful.
I would like to say something as well in terms of like games based on movies.
Mm-hmm.
They are all trash.
Yeah, oh yeah.
All just god awful. There was one exception, but I can't remember what it is.
Oh, Wolverine Origins. That was really good.
Is there a game of that?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really good. It's like a hack and slash kind of stuff.
So those two films completely destroyed. Here's why I think it's going to be the next big thing. Because it's an untapped source, and it's never happened before for two reasons. One, because you can't base a film off of games in the 80s or 90s, or potentially even early 2000s. Like, trying to make a Pac-Man film is nonsense, you know?
There was a Pac-Man cartoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pac-Man. That's me. Pac-Man. I must have those power pellets! Go find me the power pellet bonus!
You know what I mean? Like, 2D shooter hasn't got a story. It's
Try to make a movie based on Atari cartridge, which is just like a flickering light. You're moving a flickering light towards other flickering lights, and something happens. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the second reason I think they're going to be big coming out soon is the writers. I think we're in a time now where gaming and games are a lot more respected than they ever have been before.
Yeah.
And I think the writers out there making films wouldn't look down on them as much as they used to, and therefore will try generally to make a decent story out of thing. And the third reason, out of my two reasons, is that games are better. They have stories now. They have a plot, and you can take that plot and do something with it.
Yeah. I think to your second point, there's also this generational stuff, because people now growing up playing games and stuff.
Yeah.
You can't not take it seriously anymore. You have to. In terms of like games having stories, yeah, as I alluded to before, I think this is part of my problem sometimes. I do feel like, maybe not right now, but a few years ago I really felt like movies are gamifying and games are movifying.
Okay.
They're like going in this opposite direction and not utilizing what they're good at. I think games still in that direction, where it's like lots of cutscenes, lots of hand holding, lots of story.
I don't feel that's the case. I feel like if you don't want that, there's enough games out there that will not do that.
I'm talking about like mainly AAA titles, like the new Spider-Man stuff is full of like quick time events and that kind of stuff. And I do feel like the medium would benefit if it would concentrate more on the gameplay aspects of it.
I understand what you're saying, but I disagree in the fact that I love a good plot to a game. Like Max Payne, yeah, it's got the bullet time and all that, but without the plot of that game, it's nothing really. It's nothing but a third person shooter.
You know, the exception to that is, for example, if the storytelling is the gameplay, and I don't mean that you press X to the next cutscene. It's really silly, but there's indie games like where you find a phone, you know, and it's just a phone screen, and then someone lost the phone, and then you're trying to figure out who is it, and that kind of stuff, and then you listen to voicemails and their life and their troubles. You get up clues of what might have happened to this person, and you have to like genuinely call numbers. It's really cool. I think that's a good way to use your gameplay as a storytelling.
Okay. Another probably good example of that, I ever played 12 Minutes.
No.
You play the game, you're a guy in a time loop, and you know I love my time loops.
Yeah.
And someone knocks on the door and murders you.
Okay.
And then it flashes back. And then you've got to figure out who. What are you smiling at?
It reminds me of one of my favorite games.
Okay.
Don't Shit Your Pants.
Yeah, it sounds the same. Anyway. Yeah, the guy comes and murders you, and then so the next one you hide in the cupboard away from him, and you look through the slats. So then he talks to your wife, and that reveals something, and so next time you come in, you have to go to the bit where she's hidden something, blah, blah, blah,
Okay.
and goes round and round and round until you solve out why he's there, what he's doing.
You see, like, that's a good way to use it as well. I just mean, like, games where you literally sit down and basically watch a movie, you know, and sometimes you press X.
I think two things. One, I think that's rare, and two, I think you're exaggerating wildly.
I mean, if you take the whole gaming industry, yes. But if you take the most popular titles, no. I don't think so.
I don't think that's the case.
Okay. And there's varying degrees in that as well. Last of Us, I think, is worse than Spider-Man. There's also...
I play a lot of AAA games.
Yeah.
I played Cyberpunk.
Doesn't that start with a giant, like, cutscene?
Yeah, but it's an intro.
Okay.
And then it moves on from there.
Yeah.
You know, these games are meant to be played over hundreds of hours.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're going to spend 15 minutes on a cutscene at the beginning, so what?
Here's another one, right? I was really a fan of the Witcher game.
Okay.
Witcher 1. The one that no one played.
Right.
That was when I was still playing lots of games. I mostly picked it up because it had funny dubs, and I was listening for the dialogue.
What do you want? Give me a beer. Your kind's not welcome here. I said I wanted a beer. We have no more. Very well. I'll see what I have.
Good man.
Everyone drink up. We're closing.
Innkeeper, do that again and I'll get angry. Wouldn't want that, would you?
No.
All right. I'll just tend to my business and be on my way.
What can I do for you?
But I genuinely grew to like that game. Fun kind of RPG, fantasy kind of stuff. And then I pick up the second one a few years later, and it's literally like, there's a siege. Walk through the siege. Talk to the king. The king takes you through the castle. The king talks to you about the politics. And I'm like, oh my god. And you know what happens in the first game? You fuck a lady, and a card comes up. You fuck that lady. Well done. No, like a million hours of cutscenes.
Have you played mini games past the introduction? That's my question to you.
Honestly, I gave up a lot.
Okay. I think that's really skewing your opinion on this whole thing.
Maybe, yeah. But I get bored.
Okay.
I just want to play, and by the time we get there, just like, ugh. So anyway, Don't Shit Your Pants. It's a flash game where you have 6 seconds not to shit your pants. You get a little guy, and there's next to you is the toilet, and you really need a shit, and you got 6 seconds not to shit yourself. And it's like actually a typing adventure.
Okay.
So you have to type what you want to do, but you have literally 6 seconds. What do you do? I'm curious.
Type go to the toilet.
You can't reach the toilet. There's not enough time.
Take your pants down.
Well, now you beat the game.
Wow.
These are the games we need to go back to. When is the Don't Shit Your Pants movie coming out? I wanted to extend your ideas.
Okay.
So you said that Super Mario and Street Fighter are the really sour first 2 notes.
Yep.
But I think it really continued in the early 2000s, where most of the video game movies were made by a German guy named Uwe Boll. Have you ever heard of Uwe Boll?
No.
He made such movies as Postal and Far Cry. Did you know that was a Far Cry movie?
I did.
Did you see it?
No.
Yeah.
No one did.
Left 4 Dead, Afraid of the Dark, and like loads of stuff. And basically, in the early 2000s, in the noughties, he was the only guy who's making video game movies, and it's all crap and shit. Oh my god, there's gonna be a Postal movie, and then you turn in, it's just literally like Neil Breen level shit. It's just a German guy who found some sort of tax loophole where he can make some money really cheaply in Germany. So I think that's just continues that trend of shit.
So I looked up video game movies,
Yeah.
shockingly, did
Yeah.
some research, because I was expecting there to be like an upward trend, which there wasn't, which doesn't help my argument. From now on, I'm going to say percentages, and they're all Rotten Tomato percentages. So it started with Super Mario Bros. At 29% and Street Fighter at 11%.
Wow. I would reverse those.
I would too.
At least in Street Fighter there's fighting.
And I was expecting to see like an uplift of newer games, Doom, Max Payne, Rampage, Detective Pikachu, as time went on, the quality to go up, but it doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah, the Doom movie is very interesting.
Is it?
Yeah, well, just for the behind the scenes stuff. Have you seen it?
No.
The most of the movie is like Hardcore Henry. Right?
Is it really?
FPS, yeah, but it's shit.
Yeah.
It's crap. And it stars The Rock, Carl Urban. It's like all these people who are nobodies back then. Emily Rosalind, Gone Girl.
Okay. Rosamund Pike.
Yeah, that's it.
Do you have a favourite video game movie?
No.
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 They're all any of them that you think are like passable?
Warcraft.
Warcraft. See, Warcraft. I loved Warcraft.
I wouldn't say go far as I loved it. I think compared to the rest of video game movies, that's very good. But just as a movie its own, it's like a one and done. You watch it and like, it's okay.
I think it set up a trilogy that never happened, because that is actually what happened.
Yeah.
That's 29% on Rotten Tomatoes. Did pretty poor in like America and England.
But it did well in China.
Did absolutely amazing.
That's why
in
they
China.
still talk about doing sequels to that.
Yeah.
Directed by David Bowie's son.
Director of Moon.
Yeah.
Wow.
What about you?
Well, you know I'm a fan of Uncharted, the film.
Yeah. But we're talking about genuine.
Genuine. I think there is a lot of good things happening in the original Resident Evil film.
I think you need to rewatch that.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think it's trash.
I really enjoyed it.
Okay. You know what? If we're talking about non-genuine,
Yeah.
and just pure nostalgia,
Go on.
Mortal Kombat.
Have you seen the latest Mortal Kombat?
No.
Oh, it's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
It looks boring from the trailer.
So stupid.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. It's funny. Flawless victory.
Flawless victory.
He actually says that.
Yeah.
They're fighting in like midair, and then he hits him, and he rides the guy like a surfboard, and they land on a saw blade that cuts him in half, and then he jumps off, and he's like, flawless victory.
You know what? That's the way to do it. To be fair. That's the way to do Immortal, because you can't take that seriously. And that's why I think I like the original one, because that's also like kind of tongue-in-cheek Christopher Lambert mocking to the camera most of the movie. Why do you think we haven't gotten a good video game movie yet? Do you think there's anything inherent that doesn't work in translation?
Yes. I think that when you play video games, you're a character, and it tells a story over potentially 100 hours.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think either of those things work when you do a film. You can't have a film with like one main character that goes from nothing to, King of the Kingdom. Without there being a supporting cast. I don't think that works. And the second reason is it's really difficult to squeeze 100 hours worth of gameplay, even if there is lots of cutscenes, into a movie.
I've got two reasons as well. Mine are different. The first one is they're generally just bad. The video game movies.
They're bad because the good people aren't taking enough effort to write them.
They're bad because of different reasons, but I think the main reason is that they were trying to capitalize on something instead of telling a good story. That's one. And the second one, I think some disconnect happens, similar to when you read a book and then you watch the adaptation of it. When you read a book, it's very personal. You like literally go into someone's head, and then it's hard to translate that into a movie where it's a very disconnected experience.
I disagree. I think that's a completely different thing, because when you read a book and they turn it into a film, you've got an idea in your head of what those people look like, even though it's very descriptive. Yeah. You'll assign a face in your head to each person. I think in video games, you can see what they're like and what they're doing.
That's why I'm saying it's a similar thing and not exactly the same thing, because you make the game your adventure.
Yeah.
And then you kind of in your mind personalize it to your taste of what's happening.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the reason why they don't work as well. Is like when you're playing Uncharted, you play as Drake Man, and then you're some of the gameplay is actually in your head. You interpreting what's happening. I think this similar thing's gonna happen in the future when there's maybe even good video game movies. People are gonna say, "Oh, I like the game better," like with books.
Okay.
There's gonna be snobs.
Yeah, you're right. The other problem with it is a game like Skyrim, everyone plays it different.
Yeah, the way the immersion works is different between movies and video games. In video games, you're immersed because kind of the mechanics, because you're controlling something. And in the movies, you're immersed because of the story. And then you already go into like a movie with your biases about what the story should be, but you already have this personalized version of it in your head. Maybe that's why the disconnect happens, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a challenging thing, and comic book movies have done it for a little while now. It's the challenge between, do you tell the story that's already been told that you've got a base for?
Yeah.
Because if you just bring that to life, it's not really enough, because people know the story, people know the ending, people know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But you can't then change it too much, because then it's not the thing people love and people enjoy.
Yeah.
And you'll get a big argument to that.
I think Marvel did it right when they used kind of popular comic book stories, but they used it as a base.
Yeah.
And then, okay, what can we do with this to make it more palatable, and then build on it?
Yes. Okay, so what do you think the highest rated video game movie out there is?
Ooh. Do I get any clues?
From the research that I've done.
Yeah. What about the Alicia Vikander Tomb Raider movie?
Nope. That did very well. 53%. That's up there.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy that film particularly. Really enjoyed the games that it's based on. The Rise of the Tomb Raider. I didn't like the original Tomb Raiders.
No?
No, not the games. They were just nonsense.
You don't like old cone boob?
Cone Boob was distracting. The puzzles were nonsense.
Oh, it's gonna be the Super Mario movie.
No, it's not.
Oh.
That actually did surprisingly badly.
Oh, really?
Well, no, it's 59%.
Am I gonna get a third chance?
People are tuning out. It's Detective Pikachu, obviously.
Oh, okay. Did people like that?
People like that. That's a funny film, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've only seen glimpses of it. I thought that the creatures looked ugly. Pokemon.
I think that they looked accurate.
Everyone had little furs and shit.
Yeah.
It's just like...
It's just how they are.
Creepy.
Creepy. Some of them are cute. Detective Pikachu's cute.
Sure. With Ryan... what's his name?
Ryan box office hit.
Ryan box office hit.
Okay, so let's talk about the future.
Yeah, Minecraft movie with Jack Black.
There is a Minecraft movie coming out.
Yeah,
that's right.
I kind of wanted to bring it up. I seen that news. It's like, Jack Black joins the Minecraft movie. And immediately I'm like, why? That's a terrible idea. Unless they make it like a Lego movie, kind of very meta.
Yeah, because again, Minecraft doesn't really have a plot. I have hope for the future of video game adaptations, because there are some coming out now that are just off the charts rated. The biggest ones are like video game tie-ins. They're not the game made into a film or a TV series. It's like they're set in the world of. So for that, you've got like Cyberpunk Edge Runners.
I've heard good things about that.
Yeah, out on Netflix. It's got 100% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Same with Arcane, which is the League of Legends animation. Again, 100%. And
maybe animation is the way to go, because it's very stupid when Bob Hoskins is trying to play Mario, you know. It's like there's something weird about it. Like, you need to make it more like stylized.
Yeah, but the flip side of that is everyone's favourite sexy dad is Pedro Pascal, playing the guy in The Last of Us, which has a 96% Rotten Tomatoes score. So that's what gives me like hope for the future. And I'm super excited. It's still scheduled to come out this year, although they haven't started filming yet, the BioShock film.
Yeah. What about the Fallout series?
Fallout, that's coming out this year.
Yeah, and it has Kyle MacLachlan in it, your favourite detective from Twin Peaks.
Ugh. Kyle MacLachlan.
Kyle MacLachlan.
He's even got "ugh" in his name.
Come on, he's cool.
Did you know the BioShock film has one of the writers from Blade Runner 2049 and the director of the new Hunger Games film, but we won't talk about that. So yeah, that's why I think the future is gaming.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully they'll remake a Max Payne film because the
Mark
Wahlberg one sucked ass.
Marky Mark. Yeah, that might be a while because the mood at the moment, the zeitgeist is not moody.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god, I'm lying to you. Just stop the presses. The best game film on here, on my list that I've just noticed, is Sonic 2, the movie.
Oh, wow. Okay, best rated.
69%.
Okay.
The best percent.
Have you seen who they cast as Shadow the Hedgehog, the edgy hedgehog?
No.
Hayden Christensen.
Did they really? No way.
I just saw that today.
That's amazing.
His voice is really whiny. It's gonna come off really bad.
I'm gonna be talking shit about you later, but I want to do it right. So why don't you tell me your pronouns?
Unlike you blue-haired liberals, I don't have pronouns.
What? Everybody has pronouns.
I don't. You will refer to me only by my name, Shadow the Hedgehog.
Well, at least he gets the concept.
Pronoun police! You said he, which is not Shadow the Hedgehog's preferred pronoun.
Shit, my bad.
Yeah, I haven't seen the Sonic movies.
Sonic.
Yeah.
Sonic?
Yeah, Sonic.
Why are you saying it like that?
It's like an internet meme. Have you ever seen Sonic feet porn?
No.
He takes off his shoes, big stinky feet. Apparently people jerk off to it.
The fuck, man?
I don't know, Sonic for some reason...
Weird corners of the internet you live in.
For some reason, Sonic lends itself to like a lot of weird furry shit. Makes me uncomfortable. But
then don't look at it. Stop looking at it then.
There's a lot of like pregnant Amy in law.
Moving on.
You know what they should make? Because I'm thinking of PlayStation. I never had a PlayStation, but I played a lot at friends.
You have a PlayStation?
Well, now, yeah. I mean, as a kid. I just watch Blu-ray and that. That's just my Blu-ray player. I really like, even though it's very flawed, Final Fantasy VIII.
Okay. They've made a few films of Final Fantasy.
They made a few very boring animations that I remember watching, and even as a kid I was really bored by that. But yeah, that could be a good film because there's some good stories there that hasn't been touched, and the music is always amazing. Have you ever played any Final Fantasies?
I have. I did not like them.
No?
No. I'm not a big fan of turn-based fighting. Okay. I know some of them didn't have that, but the air quotes good ones did.
Oh, also XCOM. I love XCOM. Sorry, things just bring it up now. I think because I buried XCOM because I was very addicted to it.
Yep.
But yeah, that's also a turn-based shooter. You got a team. It's very like strategic and technical, and it's really fun to play on Iron Man mode, where if your team dies, the game is over. It's like really like heart pounding, and I did it. It was great.
Also on my list of games I've probably played the most, Age of Empires 2.
Okay, yeah.
Probably played that. I played that a hell of a lot. I
played original Warcrafts. It was an RPG. It was like a expand your territory kind of game.
Mm-hmm.
And there was one other game on my mom's crappy PC. It's called Total Annihilation. And it's also a game like that where you're like a robot and you have to build like facilities and make more robots and take over the planet. And I remember as a kid I was really struggling with it. I did not understand anything about it and I always failed at it. A few years ago I bought it for like 60p on Steam, and I'm like, oh my god, this is so simple. How did I not understand this? You got like 2 resources that you have to collect and then you can win the game. I was so fucking stupid.
So you don't think then the future of cinema is gaming?
I hope not. No, I don't think so.
No,
it might pick up and then we might get a few good ones. But in terms of popular film, I just don't think so. There's too much against it. I can see it being as like on the same level as book adaptations, where some are good, some are not good.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it's going to be a phenomenon. But we'll see. Who's going to win? Who's going to win? The brand movies or the video game movies? Are we going to go back to early noughties and we're going to get the dark reimagining of Snow White again or something? Who knows?
While we're here, would you kindly like this video?
Yeah.
That's it. Because this is Patreon. I was going to go into a whole Patreon subscribe thing, but we've already done that. So.
You've already done that. Thank you very much.
If you can think of any games that you would like to be turned into films, let us know.
Yeah, I can shout out Patreon. because Emily recommended that Cyberpunk Netflix series.
Okay.
So she liked it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. We should have said that when we mentioned it.
I know, but you were going on.
Cool. Well, thank you very much for subscribing. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Yeah, thank you very much. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, and see you in the next one.
Now, who wants to go home? And who wants to go with me?